All right, in this video I go over 2 different litters that honestly did not do as well as I'd hoped. But I share it because, one, I want you to see that if you are trying to raise rabbits, or you're trying to get into it, or you've been in it a little while and you're in a struggle bus spot, that's normal. It's okay. I've raised rabbits since I was 10. I'm 32 now. I've had this breed since I was 17. There are seasons of it being good, and there are seasons of it being a complete flop and a struggle. And I would say this year, 2025, we are probably 50% of the capacity or the production numbers that I normally do. Sometimes you just don't know why. Also, unfortunately, Dahlia's litter was a complete flop. The co-breeding, you'll see, the litter doesn't go so well, and then I had the very last one ended up passing on me this week because we think, the best we can tell, is that we had a very massive storm that just came in and, caused so much stress, and then they were also already at a heat level stress that it's been almost 90 degrees for the past 5 days or so. And so you can do everything you can to cool them down and everything, but you're going to experience losses. And if you are struggling and you are trying to raise rabbits, then maybe this will be an encouragement to you to just see that it doesn't always go as you have planned. Okay, Dahlia's litter is about 3 days old. She fed them the first day a little bit, but then seems to have just quit. I don't know what happened. Nothing's changed. She did great last year, or early December is when she had hers, and so she's like 6 months since her last one, but we've lost 1. She had 4 total. I would be surprised if 2 more are not gone by morning. So if you don't like this next, or if you don't like, underfed animals, just don't, go ahead and skip past it. But I want to show you what underfed kits look like, so that if you're raising them, you know what you're looking for. You can try and hand feed them, but with them being so young, and she's clearly not going to learn to feed them, if it was a situation where one was struggling to keep up with the other kids and she was actually feeding them, I would probably try. But with the formula, that it's tough to get them to survive this young with just formula. So let me show you what the situation looks like. All right, so 3 are still in here. The best one is this one. It looks okay, but it's still skinny. So it has been getting fed a little bit, but the 2 that are still in there, I'll show you them in a minute. So I think she might be feeding this one, and that's it. So we'll see if she can manage that one. But here's one that I can tell it's really weak still. Yeah, so you can see how bad that is. So it doesn't have much strength to do much anymore. And then this over here is about the same. So I don't know what's going on. She normally did great, but also obviously the skinny part is obvious, but also the wrinkles here is what I want you to see, because a lot of times you can save it past, when you start to notice the skin start to get loose and wrinkly, but she just seems to have, I don't know what's going on. That's kind of a bummer. But this is the reality of raising rabbits and raising animals in general. Things just don't always go well. This one still has a lot of strength, so I still have hopes for that one, but we'll see. All right, so they're still alive. This one is the one that was getting fed the best. This one looks like it got fed, but I mean, it's on its way out. It's been screeching and I don't know what's going on with it. But this one it's not even moving. So I don't know. We tried our best, but it's got a full belly. That's why I don't understand. But it's never a perfect situation with rabbits. It's definitely disappointing to not have that litter do as well as I'd hoped, just because, when you think you have some good show options coming up and things like that, it's it didn't work out. But I also had some goals that I needed to hit, and we'll still be able to do that. But in order to grow the rabbitry a little bit next year, I need at minimum to keep 4 does out of the upcoming litters. So I drew them out and kind of went who's related to who, so I can hopefully still keep at least some that are not related to each other, and then I can purchase some other bucks that are completely not related to anyone. So probably between the end of the year and next year, I want to try and purchase probably 3 new bucks that will bring in some new bloodlines and just some other relations. Sorry, the toddler's playing. So that is the goal. I think we're getting close to nap time. But that is the goal right now, is to find 4 does that we can keep. Obviously, if I find any new girls that I can buy, I will. But French Lops in general are at minimum $150, and that's like for people who are being nice about it. On average, I typically pay $200 to $300 a head. So yeah, if I can't keep them myself, then it gets expensive really fast. All right, well, the blue doe did have her litter, but there's only one currently alive. I think 3 of them were born dead, but this one I am trying to help it warm up before I put it back in the nest box. But I found it in the wire and it was trying to scooch away, like just find somewhere warm. She had them all over the wire basically. This is her first litter. She is slightly older than I would like, just because I bought her at a year, and I usually try and get them to have their litter before or at a year, just so that things go a little bit better. But all of the kids were, well, all but one was okay. Weston, I'm talking. So anyways, this is gonna be a check it hour by hour type situation. So hopefully this little guy makes it. Well, we got back from the store and I came back to find yet another one out on the ground. So this is quite the litter. So I hope this video was a little bit of a help to you, to just encourage you to keep pushing through. You may not always have the answers. You can speculate. Like with anything, I mean, a lot of it is just guessing, and you can learn from past repetitive things that have happened and issues you had, but it's always going to be a guess. And so when you come into that and you're like, oh, should I quit, or whatever the case, whatever the thoughts are, is just ask yourself, how would I feel if I removed raising rabbits out of my life? How would I feel if that was not there? And if there is a relief of pressure, maybe it isn't for you anymore. But if you feel like you would miss it, and it was something would be missing from your life, then you know it's just something you've got to learn to push through. And I've had plenty of seasons of that where it was hard. It was one day, you know, one foot in front of the other each day. But eventually you get through it. And I've recently gone through a season of, you know, just do I have the heart for it anymore at all? And when you stick those moments out, a lot of times you'll come through it. But it's just, you've got to keep going. So if you're wanting to raise rabbits, I encourage you, please, 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 just try it. Keep going. Get, you know, someone in your corner who will, you know, give you the kick in the pants that you need if you need a co-breeder to that, you know, is close to you or that you can ask questions of. I would normally say I would love to be that person for you, but I can't handle everyone. But I do answer as many questions as I possibly can. But that's why I provide these resources for people to be able to help you through these hard moments when maybe, you know, you don't have anyone that you can talk with. So I hope this is helpful for you, and I'll see you in the next video.